This video is sponsored by Sailun Tire. We'll talk about them shortly. I don't know if you guys remember my wife.
Remember me?
Some of you may remember that we had a really cool GX, and I'm gonna just keep it short with you guys, okay? We said we'd never get one of these.
So that car got rear-ended, and my rental was something I swore I never wanted to drive.
Story later. But we bought a minivan, boys. For years, you have seen my wife and I go through so many different vehicles trying to figure out what we actually want out of a car, truck, SUV, you name it. We've gone through tons of stuff, and we have an interesting story on how we ended up with this one, but you know what? I'm just gonna let you watch and figure it out for yourself. This thing is bad A, okay? It's bad in a good way. I'm gonna start off with this. If I don't trust the product these days to take care of my family or to keep my family safe, or that I don't personally believe in, that I haven't tested myself, I would not promote them. With that said, through this video, you'll see it for yourselves, but Sailun Tire approached me a few months ago saying they wanted me to test their winter tire. Now, as a Texas man, it's few and far between we have days where it snows. What's crazy is the week that this was due, it snowed in Dallas, Texas. But I did tell Sailun months ago, I was like, listen, I haven't personally used your tires before. Let me test out your all seasons before, because I'm not going to get into a review if I don't even trust your all seasons. Now, those were the Sailun Attrezzo T-Cons, along with some wheels that I surprised my wife with. I pretty rigorously tested them in the dry and in the wet, and I was nothing but satisfied with them. So this day, we went ahead and decided to toss on the Sailun Tire Ice Blazer WSTX. As an experienced driver, the tests I'm doing here were just to verify the validity of the products. A lot of the testing that I was able to do here, you should not try yourself at home, and you should just take my word for it. I wanted to be absolutely sure that in every scenario, my family was going to be safe if we did have ice or snow. Now, here's the first thing that came to my mind. I have heard of Sailun Tire before, but I had never tested them myself, so when they approached me, I had to look into the company a little bit. Briefly, Sailun Tire started in 2001. They sell over 30 million tires per year in over 50 different countries worldwide. From what I've gathered, and what I do like about them, is Sailun understands that you need tires that fit your budget but also perform. Now, when we say fit your budget, we're not talking cheap, but they are affordable. So they built their brand around three core values: value, performance, and support. A lot of brands will say that, but here's the thing that I like about them is they approached me and they said, listen, trust. Don't just take our word for it. Go ahead and try them yourselves and let us know what you think. And that is exactly what I do as a driver. Whenever you have ice or snow involved, it's very, very different. You eliminate a huge coefficient of traction. It doesn't matter if you're front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive. Ice is ice. If you don't have traction, you don't have traction. The cool thing about the WSTX is it is a studdable winter tire, which means that you can put metal studs inside of it for better grip. Without studs, with their compound silica reinforced polymer blends, it allows the tire to remain flexible. Most tires that are all season will basically turn into plastic at freezing temperature. Winter tires don't do that, and they allow the knobs and the tread to flex and move with the road and allow you to maintain grip through sludge, through snow, and in some cases, ice if you were to stud the tires. My first thought was, let's go test this thing in the roughest way possible. The main scenarios that you're gonna be walking into when you're driving in snow, you're gonna be worried about braking, and you're gonna be worried about turning. I wanted to go ahead and test this thing out, put it in any scenario I could, and find every bit of snow, sludge, or ice patch that I could. And you can see through some of these tests, I am violently seeing what the tire does, basically to essentially test the side bite and the grip of the tire from the side as you're completely working against physics. You can see through a lot of the content here that I am plowing through snow. In even one instance, not even that I'm unsafe or the car is unstable, but I am passing full-size trucks at full speed because I have that much confidence in the way that this tire drives. You know, it's one of those things for me, after working with so many brands and hearing so many brands say that they are so good, I get real tired of that. And seeing that this front-wheel drive van was able to conquer these conditions at 50, 60 miles an hour, full lock in the brakes, like letting the ABS fully kick on, do its work. The fact that the car never slid around, it always bit the snow and used the snow snow and the slush to its advantage, that spoke volumes to me. And that is something, I mean, I immediately after reviewing this, I said, you know what, babe, you are welcome to go load both of our children up, go to the store, do whatever you need. And that is what really spoke to me. I was really trying to test to make sure that my wife, you know, with her less extensive knowledge of driving in all conditions, was going to be safe, and that my children were going to be safe. As a dad, that's very important to me. Even yanking the wheel, which my wife would never do, I could not get the car to oversteer, to understeer. I mean, obviously there was a bit of steering scrub, and that's gonna happen in any case. But dude, I can't tell you enough, these tires are friggin' awesome. I literally can't get this thing to lose traction or like spin, I guess. I'm actually impressed. Real quick, I feel like while the girls are napping
We're
and
gonna
chilling,
take advantage
dude,
of the time.
let me say something real quick. I love this thing because it folds all the way down in the back. Not because of what you're thinking. I can fit, dude, I fit how many? 10 or 12 sets of wheels and tires into this thing, plus fuel and 3 bottles of nitrous.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Now it's your turn.
No, okay, so I got rear-ended in the GX, and they gave me this as a rental, and oh my gosh, I threw the biggest fit.
So I get a call one day. This was, how long ago was this? Like
This was end of May.
8 months ago. So I'm like, she calls me saying, I got rear-ended. I'm shook up. I'm like, I'm pissed. Long story here, because this dude was a felon.
Oh my gosh. He had no driver's license, no insurance, and so next thing I know, the cop's coming up to my car and goes, ma'am, you should probably just head home right now. And I'm like, okay. So I drive
with
off.
Both of our children in the car with it.
I drive off and he's on the hood like, getting handcuffed.
So he got arrested. But that GX, it was a cool car, and it was like something, I feel like the final stage of our trying to figure out what I could buy you or what we could buy you to like make a nice car. That gets rear-ended, and you go to the dealership to start the insurance process, which was a long thing. But
the car that they had on reserve for me was not, they gave it to somebody else. And so I'm sitting there and they're like, the only thing we have left is this minivan. And I was like,
God said, the car you want's not there. I'm gonna humble you a little bit today.
Yeah. And of course I was just like, and so we drove around the minivan. Oh my gosh, I was able to throw so much in it, and like coolers and strollers and a tent, and we would go up to Oklahoma and watch it at the track, and the girls
This was not a very
it.
quick process though. It
No,
took some
we had it for like a month.
I was like, dude, park that minivan in the back, like hide it.
They do not look cool. They're not an eye catcher. But oh my gosh, are they practical. So we have it for like 4 or 5 weeks, finally get the GX back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't fit anything in here. There's like no space at all. And so I remember like 2 or 3 days after getting my car back, I go, Evan, I can't believe I'm gonna say this.
I knew what she was gonna say.
But I miss the minivan. And like, I will tell you, we obviously have gone through a lot of cars, especially for me. I have never missed a car that we've sold for me, ever. But the dang rental minivan, I was like, I actually miss it.
So we straight up, we had a loan on the car, we traded it in, and we bought this outright. It's just an old used car. And we're like, you know what?
It's
just a little V6. We've taken it out. You've driven this definitely more than the GX ever did.
Oh, yeah.
30-some miles to the gallon, dude.
That was the other thing. And so when I had the rental, we went up to Oklahoma, and I was able to go to Oklahoma and back on 1 tank of gas.
I'm out here in my truck spending freaking a fortune just to go 3 miles.
Oh yeah, Gabby like runs around, and we can have picnics in the back.
They instantly, I think the girls sold us on it because they instantly were in love with the room. Like Gabriella, and this was 8 months ago. This was before she was even 3 years old yet. She was walking around. She was excited. She could play with her sister. Her sister was in the car seat because she was too young. She couldn't walk yet at the time. But they were like just waltzing around, playing. We could just lower the back all the way. She can sit safely in the van while we're doing something else. She just loves to be in it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's kind of an interesting idea. So it got me thinking, all right, maybe we just... And also, Sung Kang, if you guys know who that is. You should know who that is. But it's the guy from Tokyo Drift.
Oh.
The snack guy.
Yeah,
he had said on a podcast a couple years ago, probably. He said, my favorite vehicle ever is I think he had a Sienna or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But he said, he's like, I can go however fast I want. I don't get pulled over. Nobody, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm a testament to that. If you're going 900 miles an hour, they're going to be like, oh, it's the red car next to the minivan that was going fast. And so
the few times that we've like secretly put it out there on Instagram, oh my gosh, we've gotten so much. And I understand that. I would have been the same person a year ago.
Who cares?
But oh my
It's so
gosh,
good.
once you have a minivan.
Then, so once we were committed to it, I was like, all right, I have done a poor job of like modifying her cars. So I got some lowering springs for it. Haven't installed them yet, but I got some aftermarket wheels, which then, yeah, that's one of the segues into working with Sailun that we did. I was like, listen, I'm gonna get her some 20s because I'm not gonna just work with you guys on winter tires. We need tires year round, and I'm gonna test them. So we got those on, got some really cool wheels, and this car has a lip kit and a wing you can get for it, and I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's so good. CarPlay, AC's great. It's, you know, ticking time bomb, probably engine and trans, but you know what, dude? It's an old little car. You could probably pull this motor and trans for $3 in a junkyard. So, and I think it's the most produced.
Everywhere.
No, it like statistically, I think this is the most produced and most purchased van. Currently, maybe of all time, but currently at least for sure. And there's a group of racers too. I think the drag racer. I just found this out. Guys that are NHRA guys, they use these as track vehicles.
Really?
Like it's like an official thing for some teams.
Well, I was gonna say
They
when we were
pop in
down
that
at Coda,
freaking Pacifica and they're ripping it.
No, when we were down at Coda, oh my gosh, there were so many Pacificas.
Listen, don't knock it till you try it, and sometimes you gotta try it a lot.
There's more space
to
than
have the
any
revelation
SUV.
that you needed the vehicle. I've just accepted it. But you know what, dude? I've also sold all of my flashy cool cars, and I'm like, dude, I love race cars. Love going fast. We can have one car that's just low key, and it's low key. That's exactly what it is. But you still loving it?
Oh my gosh.
Loving it day by day. Dude, swore I would never buy this car in my life. A car like this. I did everything possible.
I was like a freaking
SUVs, turbo crossovers, that kind of stuff. Nope, we ended up just...
And this even, at the moment, outdoes like the Tahoe. It has like twice the space at the top.
Sometimes you just grow up. You become the dad that you never thought you'd be. But I'm a cooler dad than I thought I'd be, and I got a freaking minivan, and I'm stoked about it. Be confident in your weird stuff that you got to get, because sometimes you're the cool person for being confident, even though they don't like it. That's it. Let's get on to the rest of this. Do you want to say anything else?
No, that's it.
That's a crazy.
You can see through tons of B-roll and footage here that the car has zero problems in sub-freezing temperature. Between that and the all-season tire that I've used that I'm not going to speak to right now, but between those two tires, I will say Sailun does have a fantastic option and a very affordable option for you in any driving condition. Premium performance at a budget-friendly price. With Sailun, you don't have to compromise on safety or performance, and you don't have to go crazy out of your way or buy some crazy expensive tire to make sure that you are safe. The WSTX is designated with a 3-peak mountain snowflake severe service emblem to help ensure drivers can easily identify the tire and provide a higher level of snow traction. But seriously, the next time you get your tires changed and you're wanting to be budget friendly but don't want to sacrifice the integrity of the tire, ask for Sailun.
And just like that, the snow is gone a couple days later. I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram, but we had some fun with the girls, and it was their first time in legit snow, so we got to do some sledding. But man, I gotta be, so I want to set something straight with you, because as we're going into the new year, I want to set like expectations on who I am these days, because for a long time I've like promised, and I've oversold myself on what I'm able to do. And I've realized through this like transition stage for me, taking some time off, not making content like full time, if you will, I've realized that it's so important to me to only focus on doing either family oriented, or it's got to be something that I just love doing. And it was totally my fault. I'm not gonna sit here and like cry about the algorithm or cry about subscribers or not getting support, this and that. I got so caught up in just like trying to just pump out videos that I lost myself along the way, dude. And again, just taking this time off, I've just been able to dial in my mental health, my physical health, and just step back and realize how ridiculous of a life I was living, how over-promising I was, and how high my expectations were with not the ability to do what I wanted to do. Everything I do from here on out, I want it to be I'm not gonna produce a video if it's not ready. I'm not gonna film or edit something if I'm not happy with it. I'm not gonna post it, I'm not gonna promote a brand if I'm not stoked about them. I'm gonna start saying no. Even if it costs me money, if it costs me time, I'm just gonna be like, dude, listen, no, product's not good. Or I'm gonna tell you guys, like, the video's not good, it's not ready yet. And so I just want every video that I make, whether it's a banger or not, like, it doesn't need to be a freaking Matt Armstrong video every time it comes out, but it's like, video's gotta be good. So like for this car right here, I'm filming an entire docu-series, not even docu-series, I'm filming basically one long documentary on
testing the car the first time, adjusting, testing again, adjusting, testing. So it might be a 40-minute video, it might be an hour and a half long video, but it's like, I don't want to create this false expectation anymore for not even for you guys, but for myself. I have to continue to pump out this content. I have to have this perfect cadence to cater to YouTube. It's like, dude, I don't care. YouTube's a part of my life. I'm not a part of YouTube's life. It's so weird when people just sit there and watch you. This freaking 14 years or more, like, still can't get over it. It's so weird. I got some important, cool stuff going on, right? I would rather do those things and then show that through YouTube and not let YouTube be the provision for me along the way. And so you just want to set some clear expectations for you guys that I don't necessarily know if you're going to have like consistent uploads or content from me ever again. Because I've realized the value it has for me of just enjoying the process. It's like, if I don't get a bajillion views on a video, or if I don't ever reach 1 million subscribers just because my cadence isn't proper, it doesn't matter, because I'm trying to figure out my value outside of the content creation side of things. And then I'm just using this as an avenue to show the cool things that I'm able to do. I want to thank Sailun Tire. I mean, it's brands like Sailun Tire help us continue on, especially with going into racing full time. It's like I need like $200,000 next year, like to race in both series, and that's not me making any money. It's like, we need some funding here. And so it's like, videos like this, it's awesome, and I know, and I'm trying to make sure that it's not just a push for product. It's like, how can I integrate this in a fun way? So it's like, yeah, let's whip the van around, obviously adhering to guidelines. I can't make them look bad. So it's important to me. And so I think that's just what I want to communicate with you guys, that I've found the importance in making sure that anything that you see is something that I love, nothing that is forced. And that's the clarity I needed to give you guys today. You know, that's really important. It's an important mentality to have. And it's a good mindset in any case, in any business. Do your best, figure out what matters most to you, and don't sell yourself short. Oh, that got dark real quick. Don't sell yourself short and know your value. Have confidence. I don't know. I have a lot to tell you. And honestly, dude, the last thing I'll say is I have grown and changed so much in the past 6 months. Since we sold the house and moved, I am literally not the same person that I was. And I am so thankful for that. God has changed my life in huge ways. And I will use my testimony and use every example I can if ever needed, because that's way more important than views on YouTube. It's like, I need you guys to know the real truth, the whole truth, and I need to show you guys what it looks like living a life through grace and having zero deservingness of it all. So it's gonna be a crazy ride, and I honestly still, to this day, I don't even know if it's feasible. If it's meant to be, it'll come. If it's meant to be, it'll pop up. But it's like Sailun approached us, and I was like, even that, it's like, that's money for us that we really, really needed. But I was willing to cancel it if I didn't believe in it. So I will say, like, I had heard of them, but I'd never used them before. But their all season on Victoria's car was better than the name brand that was on it before that were like brand new. And snow tires they were pretty amazing. Anyhow, I love you guys. Make sure you just prioritize what's important to you in your life. You have a long life to live, and I know it seems like everything goes so fast, and there's so many people in your life that are successful, they get so much money, and it can be discouraging at times to see that, but you have things of value that you don't see in your life. Other people have things of value that you see that you want, but then they would probably look at your life and think the same thing, even though you'd be like, no, it's not the same. So just take it for what it is, man. I preach that, and I have learned it, and it hurts, but I tell you because I love you, and that's important to know. I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon with some racing stuff. It's gonna be fun if I can make it work. See you all. Peace.
As we're rolling back into creating content, it does us a huge favor if you just go and check out or click the links of these brands that support us. No obligations or anything, but it does show these people that are pouring into us and supporting us that we're worth working with and we're worth supporting. Consider Sailun Tire next time you need a change of tires on your daily or you're interested in winter tires. But either way, it does us a huge favor. Click the link, and we appreciate you guys for being so awesome, for being patient, and we can't wait to continue. Have an amazing day.